From Spontaneously Combustible Studios in Cleveland, Ohio, presented by Permanently Geek, this is Uncovered. The show where we compare a original version of a song and a cover version of a song and try to decide which is the better of the two. I'm Michael McFarland, writer, rocker, biker, geek. Over here we have Kevin Conaway, man of truth and beard. So yeah, shall we find out what set of songs the crew has selected for us this week? We have no idea what's under this. There's a total mystery. There's a pool of potential songs that has been set up ahead of time, but as of this moment, we don't know what we're going to be talking about for the next 15 minutes.
Might be blank. We'll just have to figure out stuff to talk about for the next 15 minutes.
Well, that's our show, folks. All right. Shall you...
Did I just win, by the way? Point for me. We're tied again. All right.
All right.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh.
David Bowie and Nirvana, the man who sold the world. All right, and Michael McFarland's version, apparently.
So we're going to have 3 to compare this time.
Right. All
right.
Michael McFarland's version was very short, though.
Hey, I try to keep it short, concise, to the point. You don't get sick of it by the end of the song.
That's true, yeah.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
That was Bowie.
Okay, so we're going to listen to these 2 songs. You are only going to hear short clips because we don't want David Bowie to come down from Mars and sue us.
Or Kurt Cobain to come back from the grave and sue us.
I don't know which would be worse. There are rumors that
Zombie Kirk or Martian Dave.
It's weird hearing David Bowie referred to as Dave.
Well, we're tight like that.
This is my buddy, Dave Bowie.
Wouldn't you know him as well as I do?
We hang. We hang. Dave. Yeah. We do some barbecuing on the weekend. It's no biggie. So we'll be back in just a minute after listening to these. So enjoy these clips, and we will see you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 15, whatever. All right, we are back. We have both made our picks for which we think is the better version and made predictions about who we think our counterparts will believe is the better version. Now I'm winning this game so far. In the first 2 episodes, I've gone up 2-1 over Kevin in these picks. So let's keep that streak going. So
I think it's time for a comeback right here.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I have to be honest. I am much more familiar with the Nirvana version of this song than the David Bowie version. The Nirvana version was from the MTV Unplugged, which, if you listen, it definitely was not unplugged.
It wasn't really unplugged.
My understanding is actually that there was a bit of, they had to fight for... back when MTV cared about music, they had to fight to be allowed to use distortion on the acoustic guitar on that song.
That's right, kids. There used to be music on MTV.
Back when we were young.
Music on MTV.
Get off my lawn. So, that's the version that I know. I actually only listened to the David Bowie version for the first time I think about a month and a half ago. And actually because our friend Sean Benjamin, who's also a singer-songwriter, occasionally covers The Man Who Sold the World. And he, of course, properly attributes it to David Bowie, but that got me thinking, I wonder what the original sounds like. And it sounds like David Bowie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are your thoughts?
Actually, I think I probably heard the Nirvana version first, too, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm certainly more familiar with the Nirvana version. I think it's just because that's what we grew up with.
Right. I mean, it's much more our generation than David Bowie was.
And it's certainly tough to... I think it's tougher to have a discussion like this based on a cover song that's like a live version instead of something that's done in a studio and done to the style that would normally play it, I guess, or the style that band would be. Or I'm just kind of rambling here.
Yeah, I hear you though. Like it's
so
not like
this to me is just kind of something that like, hey, we're Nirvana, we like David Bowie, we're gonna play this song. It doesn't necessarily sound like a Nirvana song, but it doesn't necessarily not sound like a Nirvana song either.
And it fits Kurt's voice.
It really does.
Surprisingly well. Like there are a couple points in that like little turns of phrase that when I heard him, I was like, man, I wish David Bowie had sung that way.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, when this first came out back whenever the Unplugged album was released, and this was a single.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I heard it on the radio all the time.
I did not know it was a cover song for years.
No, because on the version we just listened to, you hear the fade out and the applause and Kurt Cobain saying that's a David Bowie song,
other than that.
or Dave Bowie song. But on the radio, where you'd hear it, they cut it off before the conversational like space between the songs live. So and certainly the DJs on the radio stations that I listened to, they never bothered to mention that it was a David Bowie song. So I actually didn't know for a long time that was one of his.
Right.
Go ahead.
After you.
I kind of... So, David Bowie is one of those artists, though, for me, that I feel like in a lot of cases, I have to hear someone else perform one of his songs to really appreciate it. Like, kind of like the way Bob Dylan is in a lot of ways. Like, his songs don't really take on their true life until somebody else picks them up. And I think it's because... at least from a production standpoint, the David Bowie songs of this era, they just feel so of that era. It's hard to separate the production and the phaser on the vocals and the style of drumming and just the whole feel of the song from the songwriting of it.
There's certainly something to be said for that. You're right. A lot of David Bowie's music does. It's great music. They're great songs, but they do feel dated. Like you listen to it, and there's no mistaking what era that song was released in. Right. That being said, it's still a very cool song. There's a lot of really cool effects going throughout that. A lot of different instrumentation. And
again, David Bowie didn't screw up the solo, so
there is that.
There's that one sour note that Kurt hits that he's sliding up. Didn't
it's
quite
one
get
of those,
yeah. He gets it the second and third time. Though. He missed it that first time. He nails it the second and third time.
Shall we reveal?
Yeah, let's see. What'd you pick, sir? 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay.
All right.
So you went with the original.
I went with the original.
Okay. I picked the cover just because it resonates a little bit more with me, and again, I really started listening to music to things other than classical music, because that was what I was mostly raised on. I started listening to music and writing music when I was about 13 or 14, which Nirvana was still, even though it was a good bit after Kurt Cobain had committed suicide and they weren't around, they were still a major presence on the radio, and on the alternative rock stations that I was listening to. You were still hearing Nirvana all the time. And so I think it's just that since it's of the era and part of the music that made me want to write music, it just resonates with me a bit more than the Bowie version does. And I don't dislike the Bowie version at all. It was a real toss-up for me.
This one was real hard. I love the Nirvana version. It's the one that I'm more familiar with. Funny enough, though, when you were listening to Nirvana and starting to write music, I was probably listening to a lot more classic rock back then and more David Bowie at that point in time. Like, I knew Nirvana, I liked Nirvana, but Like, when I was in high school, given the choice, I was going to put Bowie's Greatest Hits on before I put on Nevermind, you know?
Well, it just goes to show that, it's the whole thing of the music you were listening to when you were a teenager you'll always think that that's the best music that there was.
Yeah.
And damn kids these days. I don't even... What are kids listening to these days?
I'm not really sure. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah. And if you if there are songs that you would like to have us add into our potential pool of cover songs that we're picking from,
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you would like to hear us talk about.
And tell us what your pick would be as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear your opinions.
And, insult us and troll us. And
more him than me, but yeah, go for it. Absolutely. And let's check the second half of things.
So this, inside here, is what Michael thought I would pick. Inside there is what I thought Michael would pick.
Let's find out.
Michael thought I would pick Bowie, which I did.
And he thought I would pick Nirvana, which I did.
Yep.
So
the reasoning is he didn't screw up the solo.
David Bowie didn't screw up the solo.
It's true, he did not
My
screw up the
reasoning
solo.
might not have been correct.
He might have. They could have fixed it in the studio, though.
That's true. That's true. And Kevin thought I would pick Nirvana because it was more familiar and a more stripped down version, which familiarity was absolutely correct. I don't know if the stripped down nature of it was what sold me, but definitely the familiarity aspect.
So that's 2 points for that then, right?
No points for style, only for substance. So that puts us at 3-2 for the season so far. So how's it feel to always be in second place? Always a bridesmaid.
I'll tell you what, I'm more motivated.
Excellent. And you've got a whole closet of bridesmaids dresses. So
this is true, yeah.
Well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week with another one of these. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's all kinds of shows here on Permanently Geek about everything from music to video games to cosplay to smashing things. And there's pretty much something for everybody in here. So make sure you subscribe. You can find us on Twitter at Michael MCF. I don't even know my own Twitter name. You can find me on Twitter at Michael MCF Music, and you can find Kevin.
You can find me at Kevin_Conaway.
And make sure you stay tuned for more Permanently Geek shows and more Uncovered next time around. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you around.